Welcome to Something Awesome, episode 4. I got it right this time.
4.
Episode 4.
True.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this journey we're on now of like rebooting and refreshing our podcast that we were doing before for such a long time. But yeah, here we are. We're here with another fun topic, and this is falls under retro / nostalgia. But again, I want to reiterate, we're not a retro nostalgia podcast. We are not a current.
We are Something Awesome, and we talk about awesome things.
We're right in the middle.
Or Something Awesome.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube, Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple Podcasts, and Google.
Google,
Anchor.
yes.
Is it Google Podcast or is it
I
like
think
its own
it's
thing?
Google Podcast. I don't know.
You're the Android guy.
But I don't use Google Podcasts.
Oh.
I use Player FM.
That's how bad Google is.
I don't use Google Podcasts. I use Player FM.
Yeah, but we're on most of that. But I just want to throw that out there. So if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe here on Spotify or whatever podcast platform you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any questions, feel free to let us know in the comments. Hit us up on Twitter. Our socials are down below.
Yes. Very good. All right, so today we're talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, and it still holds up for me. And that movie is Say Anything, starring John Cusack,
Ione Scott.
Ione Skye, John Mahoney,
Yes.
and they're the three main. But I want to give a shout out to Lily Taylor
I was going to say.
because she's
You got to mention Lily Taylor.
like the fourth lead in this movie. It's for me, it's such a quotable movie. There's so many things in this movie that I say constantly. And one of them I didn't even realize I got from this movie until rewatching it today before coming over here to record.
So yeah, speaking of that, like you brought this up to me in Voxer. Is there a reason why, or is it just like something you wanted to?
Well, like, we have the list of things we want to talk about, and I put John Cusack movies in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for whatever reason, this is my favorite. It's the one that jumped out to me first. So I was like, hey, why not? Let me see if it's streaming.
Is this
anywhere.
your first Cusack movie that you've seen? Like the first one that you remember seeing him, or is that too even hard to remember?
I think this was the first one. Yeah, it was either it was definitely this. I was gonna say it's either this or Better Off Dead. Might have been Better Off Dead, actually.
Haven't seen Better Off Dead.
All right, that's another one we're gonna do. It might have been Better Off Dead.
I think that makes a lot more sense.
Before I say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to say, like, because there was a point in my life where my dad was making me watch like all these old retro movies, and maybe it's his fault I'm into movies, and sometimes I questioned it because he showed me Ferris Bueller's Day Off when I was in high school. Like, do you want me to ditch high school and like?
Wait, you didn't see that till you were in high school?
Oh no! Oh, sorry, junior high. Junior high.
Dude, I saw that movie when I was like 6 years old.
I was in junior high. I was in junior high.
So a lot of these movies that, like, especially the Cusack movies, and then even Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like, are kind of they help me, like, they're formative movies for me, like, for sure.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I saw them at a very young age, and I don't know. I won't say probably too young to see them, because there's nothing. One movie of his that I saw that I was definitely too young to see is The Sure Thing. If you see that, that's another.
Yes,
one.
I have seen that.
I saw that one when I was way too young to see that, and there's not anything super bad or anything in that movie. It's just it's the proto version of American Pie. It's about this guy who's trying to get laid, and like that's what The Sure Thing is about. But yeah, I think I kind of I saw Better Off Dead, I saw Say Anything, I saw Sure Thing, and I saw One Crazy Summer. Well, I don't know, probably all around the same time ish. So I was younger. I remember seeing them very young. Yeah, and all those movies to me are very quotable, and I kind of know them all front to back. The only one I haven't seen in a very long time is The Sure Thing. But the rest of them, I think I've only seen that once. I know these movies so well. So like when I brought it up, and then you messaged me this morning and said, "Oh, I couldn't go back to sleep, so I watched it. I'm excited to talk about it." And
I've been up since 4:55 a.m.
Yeah, and then you were like, "Oh, are you gonna watch it?" And I was like, "I've watched this movie 1,000 times, but maybe I'll throw it on and in the background and just to refresh." Yeah. I ended up throwing it on with the intention of it just being in the background to refresh, and then I fucking sat down and I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I think maybe early 30s or late 20s.
Yeah.
Since I last watched it.
Okay.
In the age I am now.
I'm 40, guys. I'm 40. I'm just gonna say it.
I was kind of nervous. I'm like, I wonder if it's gonna hold up. Did you have that questioning? But no, you've watched it more. But it's always gonna hold up for you.
Right. It's always gonna hold up for me. But there was
doubts.
There are some parts that are. Oh, maybe this was day one of shooting because some. Ione Skye. Some of her delivery early in the movie is very not dry, a little flat, maybe. Like where she's just literally like saying the line. But it's like 2 lines in like the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. The phone call. It's the phone call when she calls him back. And hello, did you call me? But it's and I don't think she needs to have some kind of like crazy emotion or expressive emotion, but it's definitely.
Of course, they're not really talking to each other either.
Right. You know? But Cusack is pacing back and forth, and he's 100% in character.
Oh, yeah, always.
If you don't want me to talk to you, I won't call you anymore. And he's rambling, and I'll go. What? I'll go. Like, really? Yeah, I'll go. And it's just very... Like, she's got a good facial expression about it, but, like, no, I read it on the paper. And then, did you call me? Like, the very beginning of that phone conversation, I was like, ooh, this must have been day one of shooting. But other than that, again, I'm not going to say that's a negative. I don't fucking care. This movie is an all-time classic to me. And even little things like that. Again, we talk about it in the previous episodes. If I have to fucking nitpick for the sake of trying to find something negative to talk about, I'll nitpick. But that's it. That's it.
I was scared watching this because I was honestly scared because is it gonna hold up? Are there gonna be dated stuff, or things for its product of its time stuff? And there are. But then when I started thinking about it, I'm like, he's a kid in high school. Would a high schooler do this? Like, of course he's gonna do that because he doesn't know any better.
And he's 19.
He is 19.
And he mentions that he's 19 and he missed a year of school, but now he
was abroad.
Yeah. That whole, we got to talk about John Mahoney when we get to it with his stuff, because there is an entire generation of people that only know him as Fraser Crane's dad. He is an amazing actor and not just comic relief, and he's so good in this movie. The guy with the
mustache in Frasier?
No, the dad.
I never really watched Frasier.
Really? Yeah. He's the dad in Frasier. He's Frasier's dad. You don't watch Frasier? Oh my god. Okay. That's too long of a series to make you watch for the show.
I will not watch that.
It's really good. But yeah, there's a whole generation of people that would only know him as, it's Fraser Crane's dad.
Right.
That's Fraser and Nigel's dad. But he's so good in this movie, as the father of a daughter and trying to be open with his daughter, and then hearing stuff he doesn't want to hear, and then trying to convince her to do other things, and then there's a villainous twist to him later that we'll get to. But Ione Skye, again, nitpicking, is the only one a little out of place as far as performance-wise. But it's not bad. It gets better and better and better as the movie goes on. She gets better. She does get better.
Yeah, it feels more real.
Yeah.
This whole movie feels
real.
Like these are people in high school. They're graduating their last year, senior year of high school. They're graduating, they're partying, and beginning. Let's the beginning. Oh my god, the beginning of the fucking movie itself is so iconic and so good.
It's one of my favorite line reads that he does in this movie is at the very beginning of this movie when Lily Taylor, Corey, goes, "We just don't want you to get hurt." He goes,
"I want to get hurt."
Just the way it's I don't know. It's such an honest read of I talked about it a little bit and then realized, I better shut up because I was texting you when I was watching it. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. In my head, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say anymore. But the way this is shot, with the exception of
that's one of my favorite lines in this entire movie.
I want to be hurt. Yeah, I want to get hurt. Yeah, and we'll get to my other favorite line in this movie later. It's very long, but I'm gonna do it. It's shot very realistically. It looks. It doesn't look like a movie in the party scene.
No. Yeah, the party scene is one thing that I really loved about this movie, especially watching it now again after so many years.
Yeah,
like you feel like a character at the party.
Yeah,
you like the way the camera is at the party. Like you're not just getting John Cusack, Ione Skye. Like you're getting all these different characters. They're highlighting all these different people, humans, in a sense of Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
I
Can't Hardly Wait definitely takes a lot of cues from this movie. A lot of cues from this movie. Almost too many cues from this movie, which is one of the reasons why originally I didn't like Can't Hardly Wait, because I was like, yeah, I've seen this before.
I haven't watched that in a while.
And it doesn't hold up.
That's what I'm afraid of.
It does not hold up. I
might not have to watch.
I've seen it over the last couple of years, not the whole movie, but bits and pieces. It does not hold up like this one does. And yeah, so like when I saw Can't Hardly Wait originally, I was like, I've already seen this movie with way better actors. It's called Say Anything. And it actually has way more depth to the story than just being the last day of high school.
I don't want to rewatch it.
You should.
But yeah, anyways, the party scene is amazing. The Keymaster thing, like I never went to fucking parties in high school. I was a fucking geek. I was an outcast. I didn't really matriculate with the class of 2001. Yeah. I forgot where I was totally going with this.
Keymaster probably not being a real thing.
Yeah, I was thinking, is that a thing back in the day?
But this is the 80s. Maybe it was. But also you got to think about, I have to decide whether you're too drunk to go home or not.
Which is also kind of like a red flag there. Like,
and then he's like, the bag's empty. I let everybody go home except for the one guy who's passed out.
I thought was fucking hilarious.
That's one of my... Hey, man, how did you get Diane Court to come with you? I called her. And what? I called her. That's it? Yeah. Thanks, man. It gives me hope. And I'm like, wait a minute. You are not in the same league as Lloyd Dobler, dude. Like, he might be a misfit and an outcast too, but the dude who says that line to him, oh, you give me hope. Nah, dude, you don't have any hope. And then that ends up being the guy that's drunk and that they have to drive home. And they drive around for 3 hours to find his house. And then they kick him out. And he's like, thanks, guys. And he fucking peels out and leaves. I love it. Yeah. It's so good. I think maybe something like Keymaster could have been a thing. But I do know that after that, I bet Keymaster was a thing.
Probably after
that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which this did come out in 1989. 89, yeah. Yeah, because they probably filmed it in 88 and then 89 it came out. Which would, then I guess in the 90s, they would have their Keymasters.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, fuck, I lost my train of thought again. I forgot what I was going to say.
We're talking about the party and how real it's shot.
I remember what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So, like, the way Lloyd comes into the party and everyone's saying hi to him, like, he seems like such a popular guy, but it doesn't feel like he was a popular guy in high school.
Right.
Another thing, now this is where I'm getting picky nit.
Go for it. I might stab you, though.
I know.
Go ahead.
Everybody fucking loves him. Like, I understand why we love him, because we know the context of it and everything, but, like, they don't give you a reason to love him early on.
All right, but so here's the thing. Everybody loves him, but think about this, though. Everybody loves him. Like, he's got a lot of female friends, and they talk about how great of a guy he is, and he's the best guy. But nobody wants him. Nobody's dating him. He's single.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
So they might love the idea of his personality, but not enough to be in a relationship with him.
Move forward.
Yeah.
I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then her, Diane, not really knowing who he is or what really he is. Like, I guess does get to know him through his friends. And okay. I can see that.
Everybody
little nitpick.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. But I had a rebuttal, and I think it's a solid rebuttal.
It's a fair rebuttal, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you definitely see it throughout the movie. Like this is a genuine guy. Like he doesn't mean harm to anyone. He treats everyone fair. He's not judgmental.
Yeah. Can we talk about how Jeremy Piven looked like he was 40 in 1988 and he still looks 40?
Jeremy Piven is in this movie from Entourage, and he still looks.
He looks exactly the same. In fact, he looks older.
No, I wouldn't say he looked older.
Dude,
he definitely looks like he's like 27 in this movie. I know, like, you jumped to what, 2004, 2003 when Entourage came out. Yeah. Like, he would definitely look like
he looked the same in Entourage as he did in this.
40s, 30s, late 30s, 40s.
He looks the same in Grosse Pointe Blank as he looks in this. Like,
Grosse Pointe Blank, I can agree with.
And it's just so funny because John Cusack has a young-looking face. I bought him as a high school kid, you know?
Yeah.
I buy Diane Court as graduating high school. I even buy Corey, Lily Taylor, as graduating high school. But there are some people in this movie that you're like, these fucking people do not pass for high school kids. And it's fine because that was a problem in the 80s. Everybody wanted to look so old and everything. But
even now, like, they still cast 30-year-olds.
And we're talking about the Keymaster thing and the drinking at the party, and he ends up letting everybody go home anyway, no matter how much they were drinking.
Yeah.
But there's that scene when he meets her dad to take her to the party. He's like, "Hello, sir. My name's Lloyd Dobler. Blah 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 blah. I'm 19. We just graduated. Spent a year in Germany. Now I'm back here. I'm a kickboxer. I'm an athlete, so I don't drink very often." It's like, you're 19 and you're telling this girl's dad, "I don't drink very often."
I didn't think about that. You gotta be 21.
Yeah.
I've been watching some British shows, so I'm thinking 18.
Yeah. It's super funny how loose everything was in storytelling then. Yeah.
Like, it was like unofficially you can drink at 18.
Yeah.
I guess technically kids still do, but like, it wasn't as common, I guess, in the movies.
Yeah, but it's just like, yeah, man, I don't know. This more than any other John Cusack movie, this was a movie I saw when I was younger. Because again, I saw this when I was very young. So it came out in '89. Mm-hmm. Probably right, '89. You said?
Yeah, it was '89.
Probably didn't hit cable or VHS until '90.
Probably, yeah.
So that's when I saw it. So I was like 8 or 9 years old. We'll say 91. We'll say I was 9 years old when I saw this movie. Okay. And I saw this movie, and I was like, I want to be a guy. I want to be like that guy. Like, I want to be a guy like that. Like, growing up. That's not necessarily like, oh, everybody loves them or he's popular or anything like that. It's like, the personality of that guy was what I wanted to be. And I don't know. I feel like I kind of turned into that.
Funny enough, I wasn't gonna say, watching this movie, I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Mike is like this.
Yeah.
You know, like, Mike has this, like, you can tell, like, this was your favorite movie because a lot of his personality traits. I see this when I first met you and when you invited me to Jay's party for the first time. Or any of the other, like, family party get-togethers. Like, I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, I saw that. Because I have watched the movie a few times back then, too, as well. And then when you told me that your favorite movie was Say Anything, it made sense.
Yeah.
It just made sense.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know. I dressed up as him for Halloween.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good use out of that costume. That's when I still had hair. That was my last costume with good hair.
I think next time, if you go to a con like we have in the past, just wear the Lloyd Dobler costume.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. I wanted to go to Comic-Con and do that, and then just never made it back out to Comic-Con after. Because, like, last time I went to Comic-Con was 2006. 2006? 2005 or 2006. And, yeah, I just never ended up going back to Comic-Con. But I still have it. I pulled it out of the closet. I contemplated putting it on for the show today.
It's too hot in here.
But we are in Southern California, and it's still like 90 friggin' degrees here, and it's 8 o'clock at night. So there's no way I was going to wear a friggin' trench coat right now.
Which, by the way, I also forgot to mention the writer-director of this movie, Cameron fucking Crowe.
Yes.
I love pretty much all of his movies for the most part.
Yeah.
Almost Famous, Jerry Maguire, and Sky. I know I'm bringing it here, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. It's definitely worth bringing up, man.
Definitely watch his movies. I feel like I don't even need to say that, but like, I love his movies.
Yeah, but yeah, I kind of patterned myself after this character, and then when I saw High Fidelity later when that came out, I was like, yeah, man, that's basically grown-up Lloyd Dobler.
Grown-up Lloyd.
Yeah, it's basically grown-up Lloyd Dobler. And like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just a huge fan of John Cusack, and
I am as well.
I know you could say he got typecast throughout the 80s and 90s, and sure, you could say that.
So funny enough, yeah, he, you're saying he's typecast. Yeah, like he's kind of like, I mean, well, he's done other stuff like Identity. Like that was a really fucking good movie.
Really good movie.
But he has range. One of the things I did want to mention as I was watching this movie too, like How I Met Your Mother. I really love that show. When they were casting for Ted, their specific trait or look wise was John Cusack. And John Cusack looking Say Anything actor.
Yeah.
And that's when they came up with I'm totally forgetting his name. I have his fucking signature on a poster right there too.
Are you talking about Neil Patrick Harris?
No.
Jason
The main character.
Segel.
The main character.
Jason Segel?
No,
not Jason Segel. What is his name?
Fuck, people are yelling at us right now.
I don't know.
But anyways, the main character played Ted.
Look it up.
The main character
you
played
got
Ted.
IMDb open.
Yeah.
I know I say on the other episodes we don't fact check, but you don't want to sound dumb because it's like your favorite TV show.
It is my favorite too. Josh Radnor. God damn it.
Okay.
Josh Radnor, like they saw him, and then just by the looks, like they knew like this is our Ted.
Yeah.
This is from like the commentary and shit I've watched. But like that's what like when I was watching this, like I can see the resemblance now from season 1 and watching Say Anything. Like they look alike, and he gives off that essence.
Okay.
Dobler is way better. I've rewatched How I Met Your Mother. Ted's kind of an asshole. As he goes on, he doesn't know how to quit.
But they wanted that type.
But they wanted that yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he was kind of like the inspiration look for Ted. Where were we at? We finished the party, take the guy home.
Yeah. And we're not going to sit here and recount the entire fucking movie, but...
favorite parts of it, like
give me
him moving the glass out of the way, like even she recalls as they're walking from 7-Eleven back to her house.
That's, like, again, that's some shit that I saw at a young age, and I was like, that right there. That, I want to be like that.
That part really, like, because like I watched this when I was junior high, like 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 12, 13. And yeah, he was kind of like, oh, this guy's really cool. Like, he's a nice guy. Like, I was able to relate to him. Not as much as like you relate to him, but yeah, like there was things about him that like I understand. Yeah. And again, rewatching this, thinking it's not gonna hold up. It fucking holds up. It holds up. But there's only another nitpick.
Okay, go ahead.
Which kind of feels like
let's see if I have a rebuttal for this one too.
Kind of like I wanted to say like, oh no, come on, Lloyd. Yeah. Like, why? But then like, oh, he's in high school. Yeah. He's yes, he's 19, but like he still has the mentality of being in high school. Mm-hmm. The way he gets a picture with Diane during the graduation. Oh,
dude, no.
I was like, that
is 100% legit. That is 100%.
I believe a high schooler would do that. I probably would fucking do that back then. Yeah. I wouldn't do it now, but I probably would have done something like that. Yeah. But at the same time,
and it's such a great picture. She's all,
I know,
and he's like,
at the same time, he's like, dude, just go and ask her for a picture. Yeah.
But he doesn't know her. He doesn't know her. They were on a pretend date to him because they ate at the food court together.
That too. It's like
that is some fucking high school boy logic, man.
It really is. And if you wanted to, or even if I wanted to, like going through this entire movie, like you could totally edit this movie to make him look like a complete fucking stalker.
Yeah, you could also.
Because I've seen those edits where people like re-edit a movie to make it look like a horror film. Yeah. Like the offense made into horror.
You could also make him look like a complete piece of shit if you want to re-edit this movie. But why would you do that?
I know. I'm just saying. Okay. Like you can, because like.
So I think
one of the things also I like. I guess this is kind of going back to the party too, was how he was because he was kind of like crowd control in a sense. Yeah. Being the keymaster, like him always checking up on her, making sure she's okay. Yeah. That was where I kind of thought like, if you edit it a different way, it could look bad. But it's endearing because that's his date. He wants to make sure she's okay.
But the more stalkery thing to do would be attached to her hip the entire time and not let her go and fucking talk to people and get to know the people that she went to school with for 3 years and had no idea who any of them were, or who they didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
So he could have very easily just been attached to the hip, but he wasn't. He was letting her fucking spread her wings.
And let her talk to
Listen,
people.
don't be talking about my dude Lloyd Dobler like that.
I'm just saying.
Respect on his name.
I'm just saying.
Okay, all right.
But no, it holds up. The movie does hold up. You know, like I said, I can be nitpicky if I wanted to, but like honestly, like it's a good movie. You know, he's a good guy. He's it's great. It's a great movie. Like I can't think of what any other scenes. So go now
all right.
and then.
So I'm gonna start talking about some of the lines from the movie that this day I still quote. My mom is the one who like showed me this movie when I was younger. You know, this and the other John Cusack stuff. She was a fan of these style of movies. We still to this day, I will randomly call her and go, "Hey, my brother, can I borrow a copy of your Hey Soul Classics?" And she'll say, "No, my brother, you have to go buy your own." Like, that's something we quote still to this day. Some of the other stuff is, like, my favorite line in this movie is when he's at the dinner party. And
I knew you were going to say that one, yeah.
Because you've heard me do this before. Yeah. You heard me do this before. Because one of the things I fucking hate about socializing with people is, instead of getting to know the person as the person and who they are, it's always like, what do you do? What do you want to do?
What are your plans?
And I fucking hate that. So anytime I meet somebody for the first time and they're like, "Oh, so what do you do?" I go, "Well, I don't buy anything that's been sold or processed. I don't process anything that's been bought or sold, and I don't sell anything that's been bought, processed, or sold. Basically, I don't want to do anything that involves buying, processing, or selling anything." And it's always met with blank stares. And I can, right away I know, okay, I don't want to know you because you don't know where it's from. Because that's not an obscure line. That is not an obscure line from that movie. And even before I saw this movie, like as a younger kid, I always knew I was a little socially awkward. And I, as you know to this day, and anybody that's listening to this or listened to the podcast we used to do before, I fucking talk. And I was somebody that was a nervous talker when I was younger.
Oh,
and
I didn't know that.
When I saw this movie at 9 years old, I was like, "Oh my God, like, all right, I gotta stop that."
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And they always talk, he's got that nervous talking thing.
Yeah.
I told him not to say anything. And I love how many times that line,
I think it comes up at least 3 times.
3. But it's not like, it's not like hammered in, like it's the title of the movie. Like it's always pertinent. Like when Corey says, "I told him just not to say anything." And it's like, all right.
And that was a great delivery to the part where I forgot until you just said that now.
Yeah.
Because the only one that stands out to me is when the dad says it.
Yeah. You can say anything to me. I hope you know that.
That's the only time I'm like, "Hey, that's the name of the movie."
And then at the end, when they go visit him on the way out, she says, "I thought I could say anything to you. And you lied to me."
I forgot. You're
and
right,
and those are the 3 times that title comes up in the movie script.
See, those 2 actors delivered it perfectly.
Yeah.
I feel like the dad just didn't deliver it that well.
Yes.
Or it's too in your face. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nitpicky if you want.
Yeah. Fucking. Lately, I've been kickboxing. Sword of the Future. I don't know if you watch. It's on ESPN.
Oh shit! I was gonna tell you.
He starts naming all these kickboxers. I love it, dude. It's so good.
I was gonna tell you, like, before we start, we should say we're sponsored by kickboxing, the sport of the future.
Yeah, man. There's that stuff, and then the one that I didn't actually put together that I used today. That's from this movie because it's been other places, but I know for a fact I saw it first in this movie. When he's in his car and he's recording the tape for Corey and telling her all about, like, maybe I'll just be one of those guys that hangs out in front of the convenience store. I'll just go be one of those AMP guys. I'll just gonna go hang out with them. They seem to have it all figured out. And then they cut to them. "Nah, man, you don't need her. Blah 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 blah. Like,
find someone else that looks like her.
You gotta find someone who looks like her, bang her, and dump her. You'll feel better. You know what I'm saying, man?" And then it's the little kid, and he goes, "Bitches, man." And like, I say that shit all the time. Bitches, man. Like anytime somebody is upset about anything, that's my go-to, like, "Bitches, man." And like, it doesn't have to do with women or anything like that. That's just my go-to line for anytime somebody, You get pissed off at a video game. Bitches, man. Like, and I never realized or put two and two together that that's where I first heard that, was from this movie, from that little kid. And he goes, bitches, man. Oh, damn, a beeper goes off. And he goes, I gotta go. And you're like, yeah, bye, Luke. Later, Luke. And it's like, hanging out with this little fucking kid.
And then realizing, like, yep, that was a mistake.
Yep.
Don't ever talk to those people again. Yeah, I remember it's like, dude, like I've talked to friends like that. Like they would say shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, not talking to you anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't need advice from you.
And I love it. It's like, so you guys know all this stuff about women. How come there's no girls here?
We're all here. By choice.
By choice, man. No, well, that was a mistake. And then the other stuff, the stuff with the nephew, with the little kid in the movie, is so endearing.
That is so fucking like sweet.
Yeah.
And like his relationship with his nephew, like his sister saying like, oh, like be more of a, like, you gotta stop being his friend so much.
And be his
like
don't be his playmate. Yeah, don't be his playmate.
And
I love that because
he needs to be a fun uncle and have fun with them and do everything. Like that's what I do with my nephews. Like we have fun. Like I mean, unless that really pissed me off, then I have to put my foot down. Like no, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
Then I'll do that. But I think I've only done that like once. Yeah.
Like right after the "Hey, my brother, can I borrow a copy of So Classics" line, he goes, hit the hook, and the little kid's just like hitting the side. I was like, man, that's fucking adorable. And then like when Diane Court calls and the sister realizes and runs and hides in the bathroom, and he goes, no talking, no noise, no movement, and the little kid just goes, like nods his head, like that's your ride or die right there, man. That little kid is your homie for life. And then like when he picks him up and he's having him hit the bag, hit the hook, like all that stuff is just, again, it comes off as very real. It doesn't come off as like shit for the movie to further the character. Like, the delivery and the performances make it feel real, make it feel organic. It's obviously it's scripted. Obviously, this is what they need to do. And I bet that little kid was a pain in the ass to get him to hit the bag, or it was probably terrible for the director, because kids are not great listeners.
They're hard managers.
And they're not great at doing what they're told. No, just regular fucking kids. I'm not even talking about actor kids, okay? Regular kids have a hard time doing what they're told and have a hard time listening. And they get so many genuine, real moments with him and that little kid. And it's like when he leaves. And he packs up his bag and he leaves. And he's in his fucking kickboxing gi and his belt, standing there. And then they bow to each other and do the fucking thing. And like, it feels real.
Yeah. Like this movie, and it's something I've brought up before in the past too, and like what any writer, teacher will tell you, like it shows you, it doesn't fucking tell you. You see it. They don't tell you, the relationship between him and his sister, him and his nephew, him and his friends, like that his group of friends, just felt like his connection with them is just so real, like again, genuine.
And like I said, they're all good-looking girls. They all love him, but none of them are in relationship with him. So like that part, like right out of the gate.
She's too busy writing songs about Joe.
Well, that's some of my fucking...
It'll never be me.
Yeah, Joe lies when he cries. That's so good.
I love that. It's so good.
And she's like, I think I'm over it. I'm going to see him. I'm going to say, hey, Joe, nice to see you. Goodbye. And that's it. And then he corners her at the party and tries to get back with her. And she goes, nice to see you. Goodbye, and walks away, and it's like, fuck yeah, Corey.
Peace of mind. Fuck you, I'm out. Yeah.
She got more songs to write. But yeah, man, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the characters, and there's a lot to the ensemble, to the cast, but it really is those four main people. It's Lloyd, Diane, her dad, and Corey. Like that's the nucleus of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and her dad ends up being a piece of shit.
Right. White collar crime, embezzling money from old people, and
doing it for his daughter.
this is why I wanted to bring up John Mahoney earlier. And
Yeah.
the reason, like, oh, people just know him as, you know, the dad on Frasier. And it's like, yeah, and he's great on that show, and he's very funny, and he's the comic relief. But there are a couple of scenes in this movie where he's borderline terrifying. Like, he goes from being like, guy's a good dad and happy, and he's got a little bit of money, and they're okay, they're well off. His daughter's a smart girl, she's going abroad for school, it's gonna be great. And then it turns into, oh shit, he's might be embezzling money from the elderly and stealing their money. And then when she confronts him about it, and he goes, they're not gonna miss it. And there's just the dismissive tone in his voice. I was like,
he just turns.
whoa,
It's like,
whoa. And she's like, I feed them, I clean them, and blah, 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 blah. I deserve it. And it's like, whoa. Yeah.
And then him being all manipulative with her as well, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Give him this pen. Tell him to write you. Yeah, fuck you. And then at the end of the movie, when she goes, write me, take this pen, and he's in jail, and that's how you know it's minimum.
No reverse.
That's how you know it's minimum security white collar, because if it was anything harsher than that, that pen would have never got past the fucking gates.
Yeah. That's yeah.
But yeah, and like, yeah, he turns out to be a piece of shit, and like, the line that really sticks out to me, and he gets really animated, and like when he delivers the line, you know, you can say anything to me. You say it comes off as very forced. That's the only line that comes off as forced and deliberate. But when he gets all angry and wide-eyed and his face is all red and he screams, "I'm doing this for you.
Yeah.
You think I'm doing this for me?" And it's like that delivery, like he's fucking terrifying right there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really good. Like, and the different like emotions he plays, from like, he knows he's getting caught. You see him in the bathtub pretty much just like
Falling apart.
Yeah, falling apart. I was say breaking down, but same, falling apart. Like, and then the confrontation happens, and then he just flips on a dime.
Yeah.
To make it like he deserved it.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, it's her fault. I'm doing it for you.
Yeah.
It's your fault. Basically.
Yeah.
Without saying it's your fault.
Yeah.
He's saying it's your fault.
Yeah. One of the scenes that when they're in the car doing their thing, you know, and the way he's trembling is like, oh, I'm just happy.
Yeah.
You know, like that part, I don't know why, but it definitely reminded me, or I guess foreshadowed comparison to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay.
There's a moment where Joel and I forgot Kate Winslet's character's name, where he's getting memory erased, and then they track his memory through reliving the memory, and he's trying to save the memories that he has. In case you haven't seen it, there's a part where he wants to keep one of his memories, where it's him, you know, being not necessarily intimate, but like in the same sense of like how they were in the car, they were in bed, you know, and so close, and like, oh, I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose this. Like this brings me joy. This makes me happy, and that's kind of like, I don't know why I'm bringing this. I guess because like the comparison of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just made it hit harder. You know, great scene, and then I jumped to the ending, like that ending way, the way they closed the movie. Like,
Any second now.
Like,
Any second now.
Perfect. Bing.
And then it's over.
And cuts to black. Like,
so good, man.
Perfect.
And I like the idea. Another great line in this movie is when they're on the plane, and she goes, "Nobody thinks this is going to work, do they?" And he goes, "You just described every great success story."
Yes,
and
that's a great
fuck
fucking
yeah!
line.
That's like, that's boom. That is, dude. That is a fucking panty dropper line right there. That is the line, dude. Like, there's so many good lines in this movie. But again, like, and the thing that I will always come back to with this movie is they all feel genuine. Everybody's so good in their performance.
Yeah.
You know, it took about a little while. I think it took a little bit for Ione Skye to really come into that character. But once she did, and you can really see the difference from scene to scene, she's getting better and better and better and better, to the point where you really buy the almost anxiety attack she's having on the plane at the end.
Yeah.
You know, like she got so comfortable, I guess, and Yeah, it's just a fantastic movie, man. It's well acted, well written, and I could probably go on even longer about all of my favorite stuff from this movie. But if you guys haven't seen it, it's streaming on HBO Max. If you don't have HBO Max, I'm pretty sure there's some more nefarious ways you can see this movie.
They actually have a sale right now. It's like 40% off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it'd still be around when this comes out.
Yeah. But it's a fantastic movie, man, and it's again, it's something that like was very formative as a human being and as my personality grew when I first saw this movie when I was 8 or 9 years old. It's a movie that I hold very near and dear to my heart, and when people I know or meet say they've never seen it, I automatically think less of them, which is wrong, not a cool thing to do. But I'm like, how have you not seen one of the greatest movies from the 80s? It's so freaking good. But I could say that about, I mean, all the Cusack stuff from that mid-late 80s, early 90s thing. Like, he's in it for 10 seconds, but he's even in 16 Candles and fucking crushes in that as one of the lovable losers that's in the window when Farmer Ted comes and talks to him. You've never seen 16 Candles?
No, never finished it, actually, I should say.
It's so good.
You're saying like a movie defining, or movie that defined, like I'm trying to think of like what movie was it that kind of defined me?
Yeah.
You know, I think the only one really that kind of comes to mind is Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, I see that for sure.
I think I mean, fuck, I got an original poster.
Yeah.
But then it also comes to the Clerks movie.
Yes, Clerks is definitely another one for me.
Like,
that was as you know, someone in high school, as an older teenager when I finally saw that. I was like 14 when I saw that, like 90. Ooh, maybe not 14. I think I saw that like in
Clerks,
95,
maybe.
Yeah. Oh, like 95 on VHS. Rented it from a Blockbuster. Mallrats. I saw. So here's the deal. I saw Mallrats before I saw Clerks, and then I saw Clerks, and I was like, oh shit. But yeah.
Yeah, I actually saw Clerks first because I think it was, I don't know, someone in high school like, oh, like this is a funny black and white movie. It's one of my old roommate's friends, I believe. I'm trying to remember his name, but I can't. Whatever. But yeah, like he brought it because like to my friend's house, my old roommate's house, friends, because like I know him since high school.
Yeah.
We would all hang out in his garage and watch movies, play games, whatever.
Cool.
And he brought it there, and that's how we watched it.
Nice. Yeah, this is...
And then I saw Mallrats for the first time on television.
Oh, yeah. That is the worst way to watch that movie. That is the worst way to watch that movie, man.
It's the most fun way to watch a movie if you've already seen it.
Right, if you've already seen it. Because I saw it on VHS first, and then I ended up seeing it on TV when it inevitably aired on TV. But the whole fortune teller scene doesn't make any fucking sense at all. No. Like, Brody's reactions don't make any sense because they zoom in real tight and only shoot her, or they crop it to where you only see from the neck up.
Yeah.
And so you don't realize that, oh, it says before they go in, topless fortune teller. Yeah. But yeah, it's just
a preview to what's to come on our top 5 or top viewer skew ranking movies.
Yeah, we're going to do that too. Dude, I got to add 16 Candles to the list now so you can watch it. Like, that's another one that was like... I don't know, for whatever reason I identified with the Molly Ringwald character.
Yeah, well, it's like the Brat Pack movies, right?
Yeah, those are great movies, man. Some of them are great movies.
I've watched Breakfast Club.
Pickup Artist is really good. Breakfast Club is really good. 16 Candles is really good. Pretty in Pink is really good. I think Less Than Zero is very good, I was thinking of, but
that's kind of dark.
I think I was too young when I first saw that movie to really get it. But then I watched it again when I got older, and it was really good. Like, yeah, it's good movie. But yeah, man, there's a lot of really good movies from that era that we need to cover here. And I'm glad you indulged me today so we could sit down and talk about Say Anything, because...
No, I thought it was a good idea because, like I said, like I wanted to know if it holds up.
Yeah.
And it does. It holds up. Say Anything holds up.
Yeah. And, like, I think it's so funny that, you know, after you said you met me, and then after you learned this was my favorite movie, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So, whereas like I definitely relate to that character a lot, I'm gonna project on you here a little bit, and I feel like the character in that movie that you would probably relate to the most is Corey. Yeah. We used to always tease that you've met Amber. Yeah. That Amber's my Corey, and to her Lloyd. Like, that's what we always say, and like. Yeah, I think you're my fucking Corey too, man. Like, We're definitely like, yeah, we're very. I think that character.
Actually, Corey does make sense. Yes.
Uh-huh.
But me being in high school, being a stupid person who believed in loved and all that back then, the not Corey, but her friend, the optimistic friend. Yes, I think that's you. When I was watching it, like I think I relate more to
you're an amalgamation of the three girls that Lloyd Dobler hangs out with. That's so cool. Funny. Because, I think that is a compliment. Yeah, and we always used to say that I'm the Randall to your Dante, and like yeah. So there's another one. We got another one.
Well, that's gonna be it. Yeah, definitely. We've definitely went on that. But if you like what you saw, consider subscribing to us. We're gonna be doing more of these. Talking about favorite movies. What are your favorite movies? Let us know. Maybe it's something we've watched.
Maybe something you want us to cover.
Or something you want us to cover. Yeah. Comments down below. All the information is there. But
it's a big, again, I want to do this at the end of every show because I think it's very important. Big shout out to No Taxes Nigel Bravo, aka Stoat Krow Komedy, Crow with a K, comedy with a K. He's that on
music.
Instagram. He's that on Twitch. He's that everywhere. He's got a YouTube channel.
That's right, he does. Yeah.
Where he made a cartoon. With like MS Paint, like he animated his own fucking.
God, MS Paint.
It's something that's not MS Paint, but that's what it looks like. It's pretty good. It's funny if you like goofy, irreverent, gross out humor. He's an awesome dude. Made some sweet royalty-free music, and that's what we are using here, and what we will be using. So, yeah. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks to Nigel, and
that was something awesome.
There you go.